In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make $10,000 a month on Airbnb quickly in 2025. And just so you know a little bit about me, I went from being broke, severely overweight, depressed, and really just lacked a lot of self-confidence to now, 2 years later, having a full Airbnb business that in its peak seasons has paid me over 6 figures a month. The truth is, it's now easier than ever to build an Airbnb business that's gonna make you $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Honestly speaking, like that should now at this stage be the bare minimum for what you can achieve. And I'm living proof of it at this point, having built my business from zero to over $100,000 a month in about 2.5 years. So whether you're looking to just cover your bills or replace your 9-to-5 income, or you're one of those wild ones that wants to build a massive 6-figure a month Airbnb business, I'm gonna walk you through the step-by-step process and the systems that can get you to that goal this year. So why does Airbnb work in 2025? So Airbnb as a market, really just that short-term rental market, has honestly seen a significant growth in the last like 5 years. It's actually been incredible. And I could pull up all these stats and really just like info dump with all these numbers, but you're not gonna retain anything. So let me try to explain it in a way that actually makes sense and honestly in a way that got my wheels spinning when I first learn about why Airbnb was going to be so successful. So the way you should think about Airbnb and short-term rental market is really just as an experience that cannot be duplicated by hotels. So for a very long time, almost since the beginning of the hotel industry, the hotel took a very, very big pie, the entire pie when it came to travel and vacation. It took everything. But what it couldn't offer was really just an experience that you get at a house. When people travel, especially when you're traveling in bigger groups, for example, what do you want? You want a fully stocked kitchen that you can cook, that you can have some friends over, have a good time together. That's one thing that hotels could not offer and that Airbnb was able to offer. And when Airbnb figured out that this was a market segment for them to be able to provide value on, their growth significantly skyrocketed. So much so that the demand for short-term stays, and even if you think about it, when you or your family wants to travel together and you want to stay together, 5, 10, 15, 20 people, you're not going to want to book a hotel and get separate hotel rooms. You can, or you can just get one place, everybody splits the cost of maybe $50 a night, $100 a night, multiply by 10, 20 people, get a gigantic house for a weekend or even for a week, and then you spend time together. So when you really look at it at its fundamental level, this is what Airbnb can provide that hotels simply can't. Another thing as well is with Airbnbs, aside from hotels, is you can really just curate an experience for your guests. Whether you have a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment, or even a gigantic house, you can design and style your home in a way that can attract your ideal client. And that's exactly why a lot of people are straying away from the old school, really just boring, repetitive hotels that don't really provide any experiences, shifting towards that experience rather than just a house that you stay or apartment or just a building that you stay and then you leave. So because of this, Airbnb's market share as opposed to hotels has been growing significantly. And it's only going to get bigger because it just makes more sense, especially when you have more customization options and more options to choose from with an Airbnb rather than a standard hotel. Another very big factor about all of this is that with Airbnb, and the reason I choose Airbnb over any other business model is because, first of all, once you have your Airbnb set up, it pays you every single month consistently. Like barring, of course, high season and low season, which will have its fluctuations. Once you have an Airbnb set up, let's say the property is projected to make you $6,000 a month, right? With a high degree of confidence, you're gonna make $6,000 a month every single month. In high season, it might go up to like $15K a month. And I've seen that with some of my listings, that in the high season, it can make significantly more. In low season, let's say it makes $4,000 a month for low season, right? The jump with high season is so much greater than the lows and low season that you collect so much in the front end during high season that it's absolutely ridiculous. And throughout the year, it could even out to just $6,000, $7,000 a month. So the beautiful thing about Airbnb is that once you actually start getting that listing, when you start listing set up, you're now getting paid consistently every single month. Okay, now you might be wondering, George, actually get to it. Like, what is the actual step-by-step process to getting to my first Airbnb property or getting to my first 10K a month with Airbnb? The most important thing, number one, is going to be that market research. That is going to be by far the most important thing. And people usually try to say that the information right now on market research is extremely vague. But let's actually just get right to it. I'm going to give you the fastest philosophy of market research that you've probably ever heard. Market research is simply this, okay? Finding the top performing properties and then getting a listing right beside them. That's it. Copy what works and do it better. Copy what works, do it, and do it better. It's really that simple. It's not, I promise you, it's not rocket science. Once you are able to pinpoint exactly where the top performing properties are located, which is not that difficult, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2-minute sprint showing you exactly how you can do it right now while you're literally watching this video. All you got to do is go on Airbnb, search up your city, do a flexible search for 4 to 6 months out so you can actually see all the listings in your market. Put a heart or a wish list on the ones that have the highest guest count, the best reviews, and have good interior design. You wish list all of those, and then when you actually go on the wish list, which will be in your Airbnb profile, you will be able to see all the top performing listings in that exact city, all of them. And from there, you simply just zoom in and try to map out and find from that map view where all of those are located. And of course, there's a few more things that you need to do, but now you have a general idea of exactly where the top performing listings are located. Now you simply get a listing right beside those, and boom, with a high degree of certainty, you know that if you get an Airbnb, it will be successful. Why? Because there are other Airbnbs in this geographical location that are already successful. These are the amenities it has. Okay, I'm gonna get the exact same amenities. And this is exactly how you do that market research in a quick overview. And this is exactly how you do that market research in a very, very quick overview. Once you found that market and you found that listing, now it's really just setting it up using the design of the listings, the top performing listings in that area as well. Find out what they're doing well, find out what they're not doing well, and just simply make it better. Now you have a listing that's right next to or in proximity of the top performing listings, and it has beautiful design, if not better than your competitors. Now it's simply just setting up the systems and the automations in terms of pricing and just the conversations automations. Now, once you're able to do that, it's not simply just about setting up your listing and setting up all your pricing and automations so that you can be remote and you don't have to be there every single day to run your business. And then once you're able to do that, the amount of cash flow you're going to have coming in is absolutely insane. So first is going to be market research. Second is going to be choosing the right neighborhood. And third is going to be setting up and automating your property. Once you've found the properties that are performing the best in the city, and you choose the right neighborhood, which is the neighborhood that these listings are located in, and then you set it up and have the automation so you get your time back, that should be able to get you to your first $3,000 to about $7,000 a month. Even if it's $3,000, you just have to repeat this process 2, 3, 4 times. You can do that within a year. And you'll very, very quickly get to your $10,000 a month on Airbnb. And then once you've done that and you've accomplished those goals, then you can actually start looking at bigger and bigger goals like $20,000, $30,000, even $40,000 a month. But to be honest, just to get to your first $5,000 or $10,000 a month, do this once or twice, and you'll be able to get there quite quickly. This is exactly how I was able to get to my first $9,000 a month with my one property. I did the exact same thing. I found where the top I did a market research where I found where the top performing properties were. I found the neighborhood and I got a listing literally right beside theirs. I saw what they're doing well, what they weren't doing well, and where I could come in and do things that they haven't even thought of, like adding games. I added a foosball table, I had a popcorn machine, I added all these fun little things that they didn't have, and which allowed me to get picked and ranked higher than those listings, allowing me to collect $9,000 from my first listing, where those houses were making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. So that's just a quick example of how I was able to use literally this exact same step to be able to get to almost $10,000 a month with my first property. But more importantly than all of this is the fact that Airbnb isn't just a cash flow play. Don't get me wrong, the returns are amazing and you can do significantly well for yourself as you take that step. But look at it more as a vehicle to your financial freedom, because there are thousands of different businesses out there, okay, all of them promising the moon and the world. And I would know, I've tried a lot of these businesses, but there are not a lot of businesses that can replace your 9 to 5 or your current income the way Airbnb can. Because like I said, all you gotta have is one house that pays you $5,000, even $7,000 a month. And every single month, that house will pay you $5,000 to $7,000 a month. And just for context, Airbnb has some pretty high profit margins. So if you have a house that's paying you $7,000 a month, it could be bringing you $3,000 net profit every single month consistently. And what would an extra $3,000 do for you every single month? For me, it was an absolute game changer to be able to see $4, $5, $6,000 a month from one listing. Like that had allowed me to get my second listing in 2 to 3 months, and then my third listing in half the time, my fourth listing in a quarter of the time. And I just scaled that consistently for 1 year. And that's how I was able to grow my business so quickly. So it's not in the first listing that you make the gigantic returns. The first listing is to give you that proof of concept. The gigantic returns is when you take that and repeat it every 3 months, every 4 months, and repeat that, and do that consistently over a span of 1, 2, 3 years. You can simply go from zero to build a multi-7, even 8-figure Airbnb business very quickly once you understand these fundamental concepts right here. But to be honest, the biggest thing that will stop you from achieving this is not actually setting up the right systems. I think systems is that untold mystery that no one really hears about when you're looking at building your Airbnb business. You need to know how to automate, delegate, and build tools within your business so that it runs for you about 80 to 90% of the time. It is going to be possible because yes, you can manage and handle one property by yourself. And even at that, the amount of things and tools that you're going to need to really be able to profit and really get the money that you want from this, you need the systems and automations to be able to do this. So I'm talking about like guest check-in and check-out, so you don't have to communicate with guests yourself every single day. I'm talking about tools like AirDNA or Magic B&B. Magic B&B is a really cool tool that you can use to really just see exactly what your profit projections are going to be. So think of it like a spreadsheet married AI, and it came together and really just does all the calculations for you. So you need all these tools really to get to that $10,000 a month. Okay, embrace the tools, embrace the automations, and you'll be able to get there pretty quickly. So this was just a short video giving you some actionable steps of things that you can really start doing right now on your computer, on your device, at whatever you're using to watch this, to start understanding that there's not a very long process to this. It's really just understanding what the steps look like, where the pitfalls are going to happen, which is not having the right systems or the tools to help you get there, and then just taking those steps. If you can do all of that, your success with Airbnb is going to be almost inevitable. And I'm telling you that as somebody who was able to significantly build my business from scratch without buying properties to over 6 figures a month on high season, right? Because of this exact same process. If I can get to 6 figures a month, you can get to 10K, 15K a month in half the time. I truly think that's possible. So 2025, entering 2026 in the next couple of months, it is going to be extremely possible, if not bare minimum. I'm going to write this down, to get to 10K a month. So if you're looking for a vehicle to actually get you to financial freedom, I truly believe that Airbnb is probably one of the best paths to get there. Okay, let this be your sign that $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month that you've always been trying to achieve, it's not as far away as you think. It could honestly be 1 or 2 listings away. You just have to believe in yourself and take action towards that. I've been able to do it, and I'm genuinely nothing special. I just saw the opportunity and I took it, and every time my inner voice told me to slow down and that it wasn't possible, I just said, hey, shut up, I'm gonna try this anyways, and here we are now. So don't listen to that voice, just take action and let the money that you make from this shut all those voices down. I truly believe that you're next, so good luck.